Saturday's defense, and let's couch it with the realization that 92 plays is a lot of plays to be on the field. That was 30% over New Mexico State's average play count coming into the game, which was the essential, I guess, equivalent of like 3 extra drives or possessions. It seemed like under the circumstances they held up pretty well given that snap count. I know there were a few big plays, and I'm sure you guys saw lots of opportunities. But kind of take it across the board and tell me what your observations were.
First of all, I was really proud to get out of that game with a win. I thought going into the week, I thought that New Mexico State had some matchup problems that concerned us. I thought some of the speed that they had at certain positions and the skill and the experience was going to be a definite challenge for us, and it was. I thought we met the challenge. More than anything else, we had some bad field position that we stepped up and bowed up and did a great job of getting the ball back for our offense, and that's what we need to do. That's what we got to do. The thing that we haven't done a great job of up until that ball game was getting the takeaways, and we got those in a big way for the ball game, and I felt like that's what we needed to do in that ball game. There were some times where I thought guys may have succumbed to a tough matchup, and we didn't tackle as well as I would have liked to, but there was also some guys that made us tackle poorly. And then I thought there were some situations in that ball game that went against us that either a call or whatever that I didn't think should have, and extended some drives as well.
So, in flipping the page and heading to Idaho, I watched the Western Michigan game, and then I watched the Louisiana game from last week. My observation is, in looking at it, it's obviously an offense that has not quite gotten to the point where maybe you guys have seen them the last 3 years or last year. Linehan's numbers are down a little bit. To me, they look like an offense that's still kind of searching for whatever their identity is now. They did lose a couple of their key receivers from last year, some guys that were maybe more vertical threats, and maybe that's changed the dynamic a little bit. What have you guys noticed from watching them on film?
I still think they got a couple of receivers that go deep on you. They got some speed at those positions. They don't always catch the football consistently, but you never know, when that's going to hurt you over the top. The other thing is that the tight end for them last year was an outstanding football player and caught a lot of balls and had a great, gave the quarterback a comfort zone that he could always go to and hit him in a mid-range route. And then I think offensive line-wise, I thought last year they had a little bit more experience with the offensive line that gave them the ability to put up yards and points on people. They've still got the potential to do that, and I think the quarterback has got a great deal of experience. He's got a live arm, and once they get into a rhythm, they're very dangerous. If we can just sort of keep them guessing as far as the coverage, sort of like the New Mexico State game, then we're going to do just fine. We'll do fine.
You mentioned their offensive line. They're always mammoth. They always have a really big offensive line, but I think that almost plays probably to their disadvantage a little bit with the way you guys attack the line of scrimmage with some very quick defensive ends. Mike Juan gets in those A gaps. He's tough to contain, and then when you start bringing blitzing in on top of that, you can really create some problems for them. Is that an area of opportunity that you think you're going to be able to take advantage of on Saturday?
I think the very much like last week, I thought the pressure on the quarterback was never able to sit back and throw with his feet planted. He was always dancing around, and he did a great job of eluding the rush, but he's also threw some balls into some coverages before he had a chance to read them because of the pressure. We were able to do that an awful lot with four-man pressure, and that's sort of our mantra. That if we can get there with four, it gives us an extra 1 or 2 in coverage, and that's when you get the takeaways. That's when you get the turnovers. When we have to start bringing the extra 1 or 2, then matchups are a little bit tougher for us at times in the ball game. So. This offensive line is one that can run block, and they can protect the quarterback. Had they been as consistent with it as maybe last year. I'm not sure that that's we'll see how this game goes, but I'd say that they're probably looking for a little bit more consistency.
Good deal. Thanks, Nate.
Sure.